Hi, beautiful. I wanted to chat today about this beautiful concept that has been coming up quite a bit recently with clients, but also with students as well during classes. Um, when I just want to get something really clear. The way that you live your life is based on what is familiar and what is safe for you. It's really as simple as that. There are not many of us who make choices in our day-to-day that are like under the influence of what is the unknown and what is unfamiliar or what is uncertain or unsafe. When we choose things in our life that are familiar, what we are actually doing is nurturing that desire within us to feel safe. And we all have this desire. I mean, if we think about it from chakra development, right? Your base chakra, which is located at the bottom of your spine, develops when we're in the womb. And when we are born, I mean, not even thinking about it from that perspective, but I mean, just in childhood development, as soon as we are born, we need our basic needs met, right? We need to feel safe. And in order to do that, we have to have certain things, right? We need to have someone who loves us, and we have to feel safe in a home or an environment. We have to have food, and we have to have our basic survival needs met. If these basic needs are not met, we cannot evolve spiritually. We cannot evolve emotionally. Developmentally, it's very difficult for us to evolve. So what happens there is that we're constantly looking for things that make us feel safe, because when we're safe, then we have the freedom to thrive, right? The problem is that we don't thrive in the familiar. It's very difficult for us. Like we almost have a limitation, a lid on our ability or the opportunity for us to thrive in the familiarities is really limited. So we have to come up with some sort of way of feeling safe with the unfamiliar and the unknown in order for us to really to grow and to evolve. Because as we become more aware, what happens is many of us see that our habits, our day-to-day habits, although familiar, they no longer serve us. And the reason that we keep choosing them, even when we're aware that they're not great choices or that they hinder us and stop us from really stepping into our full potential, we choose them because they're familiar. And that is where that safety is. Oh, I know that. I know what to expect with that. We love patterns. As human beings, we thrive through patterns. This is how we like to live. It's part of our survival mechanism, our protection, right? Is to find patterns. And once we're familiar with a pattern, then that becomes safe for us. How many times have you taken the same place, same streets to go to work, or you've worn similar clothes or chosen similar food if you're at a restaurant, things like that, right? We choose those things because we know what to expect, and that feels good. It's the same reason why many people stay in relationships or stay at jobs that don't really help them anymore. They're not really helping them grow in any way. Because that familiarity and that sense that I am safe here, wow, that is actually so powerful. It is more powerful than you being put into an unknown environment. And even though the possibility there that you may thrive and that you may grow beyond your expectation, beyond your imagination, beyond your wildest dreams, even if I could promise you that, because you can't see it, taste it, know it, because it's unfamiliar to you, it requires you to trust. And that is really, really hard. It's so much easier for you to trust in the familiar. So this is why things like doing something new or changing is really difficult for us. I want you just to hold all of that with compassion for yourself, because we're not simple. We're very complex and complicated. And our brains haven't really evolved past just trying to survive from, the weather and tigers and stuff like that. We're still at the very basis of it all, still quite primal animals with primal instincts. But as your level of consciousness begins to grow and evolve, you will see that these things that were once your comforts are now becoming uncomfortable. So what do you actually do? Like, how can you actually make the uncomfortable feel comfortable? Well, you have to practice it. It's really as simple as that. You have to make that your familiar, because when that starts to feel familiar, you can then trust it. And when you start trusting in it, then you feel safe in it. And then you allow yourself to step more and more into the unknown, to try new things. You'll be able to teach yourself that, oh yeah, when I did that last time, when I tried that new thing, even though I didn't have all the answers or know all of exactly what was going to happen, I trusted in that and I had a go, and I proved to myself that I could do it, or that I thrived, or that it was the right choice for me. It worked out in the end. And this is really hard if we've tried things and that edge has been pushed, right? Our edge, our sense of safety has been pushed, and we actually proved to ourselves that it didn't work out. And that's really hard. That's when we take a step back and we kind of go backwards, right? And go back into looking for the familiar again, looking for the trust again, because we prove to ourselves the same pattern of, see, you can't do new things. You're not a risk taker. And this is just part of your identity. So what we're trying to do here is really shift the identity. For you to evolve, you're going to have to try new things, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And I know you've probably heard that a million times before, but the reason it's so profound, basic yet super profound, is because it's the absolute truth. Nothing changes if nothing changes. For the biggest things to happen in our world, for change, to social change, or for political change, or for any sort of change that happens in our world, something has to change, right? If all of us just keep doing the same thing day in, day out, nothing grows, nothing evolves. There's a lot of good stuff that happens from change. But if we feel unsafe in it, then we're never going to choose it. So building up your sense of safety and building up your confidence and trust in the unfamiliar and the unknown is something that is so important and powerful to work on. If we feel stuck in this, in the familiar, and we hate change and we find it really difficult, it's really beautiful to practice more and more connecting with something that is higher than you. Your spiritual practices become really necessary for you to build up your sense of trust. Because what we're asking you to do is trust and have faith in something that you don't know that's necessarily going to work out. And a beautiful way to do that is to actually open up that crown chakra, right? It's actually to connect at that much higher level with something that is bigger than you universally. So spiritual practices, I love Reiki and crystal healing, as you guys know, channeling different things. If you can allow yourself regular spiritual practices, you can connect to an expression of you that is much bigger and connected universally. And it's when you get to this point, eventually, what you start to trust in and believe in is that, wow, I actually am okay. I'm supported, I'm protected, because there is something that is much bigger than me out there, that I am also a part of, a fractal of this highest expression. And in my highest expression, I embody this. So I've got this, right? I am fully supported to follow what feels right for me and what feels good. If it feels in alignment and feels like it is part of your true path and your soul path, then you are going to be supported. You are going to be protected on and guided on this journey to try new things, to get familiar with the unfamiliar. Good things can happen, but if you stay stuck and stay separate and limited and in your fear, then you'll be there for a very long time. And you cannot expect your outer world to change around you if you're not changing with it. And you cannot expect your outer world to change if your inner world is not changing. I really invite you to practice next time you are either practicing self-Reiki or connecting to your crystal energy, connecting to that essence of source energy, the energy of everything that is, was, will be, that essence of true source creation. And I want you to find that within you, that there is a connection between that source energy and you. And it's through this connection, when we cultivate this connection, we actually start to believe that anything is possible, right? Infinite possibility. And you believe in the wonder and you have excitement to go and live your life, to go and follow your dreams. Most people will dream quite small, because when we are stuck in the familiar, in the boundaries of the familiar and the safe, we can't see beyond those limitations, beyond those barriers. We must crack open those limitations and those boundaries and push through them in order to access and see what is truly available for us. You can't do that if you are only limited and seeing the world through that view, that lens. You know, it's time for you to put on a new lens, one that is not limited or obstructed by your limitation, your beliefs, your fears, but is open to the fact that anything can happen and that you can have anything that you want. We just have to believe in that, right? Believe in that possibility. And if you can't believe right now, just try. It's just trying to believe in that possibility. That just because something has happened in the past, it does not mean it will repeat itself. But if it still does feel unsafe to take that path of unfamiliar and uncertain and unsafe, you do not need to take it right now. Everything is accessible for you, and it will wait until you are ready, until you feel like you're trusting in the possibility that it will happen. It makes my heart so full to be able to do this work and share this wisdom with you. Because sometimes I know we can get really upset with our lack of motivation or our ability to change. And sometimes we can sit there and criticize or judge ourselves. Like, why not me? Why can't I do that? Why aren't I doing that? Why am I so limited? Have I made the right choices? All of these things, all these questions we ask, and the criticism that we share with ourselves. It only causes us suffering. And this world is waiting for you to let go of the pain and the suffering that is caused only by you. It's really time for you to connect to your body, to listen to where it feels afraid, but also to connect to your body and listen to where it feels so ready, where it's telling you it wants to go. You are such a gift. Please don't ever forget it. The world is waiting for you.